Welcome to another Gauging Gadgets Garmin Instinct 2 Solar tutorial video. In this video, I'm going to be going through a full overview of the system settings on the Garmin Instinct 2. So if you have either a Garmin Instinct 2 or Instinct 2 Solar, the system settings will be exactly the same. We'll be going over those just so you have an idea of what you can change in there to customize your watch and change different aspects of it. All right, so to get started, to get into the actual system settings on the watch, all we need to do is find the center button on the left side right here, hold it down for a couple seconds, and when the menu opens up, scroll all the way down to the bottom until you get to System. Select System using the GPS button in the top right. All right, so now we're in the system settings. The first item we have in the system settings is going to be language. So if I go in there, this is where you can change the displayed language on your Garmin Instinct 2. So you can use the up and down buttons to select through and see what languages are available on the Garmin Instinct 2. And then once you find a language that you want to use, simply make sure that it is selected and then use the GPS button to actually choose it. After language in the system settings, we have time, and this is where you can not only change the format of the time. Now they have everything from 12, 24 to military. You can also go down and set the time. If you want to manually change your time, select in here, select manual, and then when you do that, you'll have a new option for time right here where you can actually go and set the time manually rather than having it automatically do it through your phone or GPS. Under set time, we have alerts, and this is where you can set up alerts on the watch based on sunrise, sunset, and also hourly. So if you want to be alerted hourly, or I like to have an hour before sunset, just in case I'm traveling or camping, I get a nice warning an hour before the sun is going to set. So I like to set that in here. So there we go. I have 1 hour set. And now 1 hour before sunset in whatever location I'm in, it'll give me a warning letting me know that I need to go ahead and pack things up. After alerts, we have sync with GPS. So you can select this and it's going to acquire satellites. You should be outside when you're doing this, and that'll make sure that the time on your watch is correct. All right, so after time in the system settings, we have backlight. And they have this split up into two different sections. So first, during activities, this is going to be any activity on the watch, hiking, walking, running, something like that. And then they have general use, which is basically when you're just using it normally. The settings within here will be exactly the same. We'll go into general use. First, we have the brightness of the backlight. So you can select in here and choose whatever brightness you want. I find that 20 works great, but you can turn it all the way up to 100% brightness if you like that. But this will affect your battery life. Keep that in mind significantly. So I'm going to choose 20%. After that, we have keys. And this is where any of the keys on the watch will turn on the backlight. We have alerts. So this is any notification, including the custom alerts you just set up for time. But if you get a text message, something like that, it'll also turn on the backlight. Gestures, which I currently have off. If you turn the watch towards you, the backlight will turn on. So that can be useful at night. You can also turn this on after sunset. And while this uses more battery life, if you have it set to just after sunset, it limits how much battery life it uses. So I'm going to turn that on for after sunset. Finally, we have timeout, and this is going to be for the backlight. You can set this for as low as 4 seconds or as high as no timeout. So you can have it so the backlight's always on if for some reason you wanted that. But I think 8 seconds is pretty reasonable, and that'll help with the battery life as well. All right, so that's everything in backlight. After backlight, we have sound and vibe. So that's going to be vibrations and also sounds. So in here we can turn on key tones, which is going to be, if I press a button, it's going to make a tone. They also have alert tones, so where it'll make a beep like that if you get a notification or any alerts on your watch. Finally, we have vibrations. So this is where the watch will vibrate if you receive a notification or for an alarm. And then we have key vibrate, which will have the watch vibrate. I don't know if you can hear that, if you hit any buttons on the watch. So really, depending on your usage, you can turn these on and off here. After sound and vibe, we have do not disturb. And when you have do not disturb turned on, the watch backlight will not turn on, and you also will not get any tones or vibrations from any notifications or alerts. You can also have this turn on during sleep, which the sleep time can be configured on your phone, and you can kind of see when that is set up right there. You can also disable that if you wanted to as well. After Do Not Disturb, we have Hotkeys, and this is one of my favorite features that Garmin has. So this is where you can configure different things to happen if you hold down multiple keys or a single key on your Garmin Instinct 2. So what I like to have is the down and GPS to turn on the flashlight. So I'll go right there, and now as you can see, when I hold down those two buttons, it'll turn on the flashlight, which is a white screen with full backlight. And I found this is very useful if you're in a dark environment for navigating or changing your thermostat, anything like that. So you have several different options in here for what key combinations or single keys you can use. And then within that, you have several different options for what those can do. So ABC is going to be altitude, barometer, and compass. Then we have alarm clock, backlight. I'll just go through all these so you can see this. MOB is man overboard, so if you're on a lot of boats or ships, you can use that and it will trigger the GPS to save the actual location if someone were to go overboard on your ship. All right, so that's going to be the hotkeys on the Garmin Instinct 2. After that, we have auto lock, and this is where you can have it automatically lock the watch so that the keys don't work during activities or general use. You can go in here and configure what that does, but I like to keep that off. Finally, we have format, and this is where you can format what measurements will be displayed for units, pace and speed, start of week, and also your GPS coordinates. After format, we have Physio TrueUp, and this can be turned on or off. And basically, this is useful if you have multiple watches. The physiological data such as sleep, your VO2 max, and your activity stuff will be shared to all of your devices. You can turn that on or off here. Data recording, and this can be useful for battery life. If you select in here, you have two options. Every second, which will be more accurate for your steps, stairs, climbs, stuff like that, but will use more battery life. And then you have smart right here, which is going to be a little bit better with battery life and has been set up for Garmin, so it should be as accurate as possible. After data recording, we have USB mode, and this is just what happens if you connect your Garmin Instinct 2 to a computer with the USB. You can use this as kind of a storage device, but it may be overwritten by the software, so it's not completely reliable. After that, we have reset. So if you need to perform a factory reset or just reset all the settings on your watch and delete all the activities and data, you can do that in here as well. After reset, we have software update, and this is where you can see if there are any updates available. You can also turn on or off auto update. So if there's an update available, it'll automatically update your watch. And then finally, we have about the watch, and this is where you can see information about your Garmin Instinct 2, such as the software version, the unit ID, things like that. All right, so that was a quick overview of the system settings on your Garmin Instinct 2. If you have any questions about this, leave a comment below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. If you'd like to see more Garmin Instinct 2 tips and tutorials, check the links in the description. If this video helped you, give it a thumbs up, and please consider subscribing to my channel, Gauging Gadgets, for more gadget reviews and tech tutorials. Thank you so much for watching.